think about the game and hesitate just a bit, so he's not as comfortable.
Jackson backs in. Triple J with a left.
Body, he's feeling comfortable.
Remember, he's never scored 30+ in 3 consecutive in his career. 7th year, 25 years of age, 4th overall selection. In 2018, Mobo scoops it up. He's got a Mobo last night, 23 minutes, 4 points, 3 rebounds against New York. First action.
And I really believe he is a player that can really be helpful for this Raptors team.
Here's Smart trying to work against Battle. Jackson puts it on the deck. Jackson stripped, the denial by Scotty. Scooped up Jackson. 1 left here in the 4th. 78%. Love to see that out of a big. Leads the Grizzlies in points, steals, and blocks. Longest tenured player on the roster. Career high in points this year, better than 23. He's got 27, 8 of 9 from the line. Here's Scotty. It's been a tough night to operate against Triple J. That shot
took his time, Matt. Got the separation with a little head and shoulders move. Went middle. Nice touch.
Here's Zach Edey. Edey
finding his big. Not your traditional.
Finished his career with better than 2,500 points since Lionel Simmons in 1987 to 1990. Go ahead. Lionel Simmons, LaSalle.
Where's he from?
Philly. That's why I brought it up.
L Train,
the L
Train legend.
That's right. The Explorers, LaSalle. Tom Gola Arena. Jackson.
L Train, I always tease him. He and Doug Overton coached one of my teams when I played for the Sunny Hill League. Great pass. You're fine. The Chicago pre-draft camp getting ready for the draft, and they missed one of the games, and they came back and scanned the room and said, "What did they do yesterday?" So they get to me. They didn't know me. They didn't give me any playing time. Lionel said, "I don't know. Look for the person with the most zeros on the stat sheet. That's him."
That ain't right.
Yeah, that wasn't right. L Train.
In the 90s, that had a lengthy NBA career. Rasul Butler, the late Rasul Butler.
A young buck. Bop.
Yeah.
From South Philly as well.
Yeah. And seeing him throughout his NBA career, the denial there. Every team that he played on, every time I saw him, he'd always come over.
Had a South Philly pipeline.
Yep. 18-point game, 8:45 to go. Here's Scotty. Offensive foul and
who's defense.
3-time All-D 2022 Defensive Player of the Year. And interestingly enough, you know, look at what Boston has done. Because you have Brown and Tatum handling the basketball a lot more, being facilitators. Very much like when you think about Scotty Barnes and what he could do for the Toronto Raptors. Right? Just helps. Here's Bruce Brown right at the rim.
Yeah, just throw it back. Now I'm a true dinosaur. No pun intended with the Raptors, but I look at Marcus Smart. I'm sure Jaylen Brown and Tatum, those guys learned so much from him from being a competitor. You see Scottie Pippen Jr., another junior in this team, knocking it out.
Raptors trailing, and the defense for Memphis has been literally huge. And there's Edey on the inside.
And to go back to it, right? Ja Morant, not known for his defense.
Pippen.
He's still developing offensively, but Zach is just proud right now to play in front of all of his friends and family tonight. And he's actually meeting with the Canadian Chinese Youth Athletic Association.
Alabama at the Coca-Cola Coliseum, Toronto. And he just had a stellar NCAA career. Joined Shaq as the only players in NCAA history to have 2 seasons of averaging better than 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks, and shooting 60%. First player since Cincinnati's Oscar Robertson, the Big O, in 1960, to lead that. He is mentioned along Player of the Year awards for 2 straight years. He's the first player since UCLA's Bill Walton as he gets. And there were doubts. 6.
And that shows you how much the game has changed, right? Like all of those accolades, and people still had doubts about what type of player was he going to be, or even if he's going to get drafted in the first round, or what the case may be. But it's good to see him and how he's performing and how he continues to grow. And you mentioned Shaq. He's going to have that Shaq feel as he continues to get better, because he's somebody you're going to have to meet early. You're not going to allow him to get under the rim, because he's going to dominate in so many ways.
Taylor Jenkins said he's just scratching the surface. I mean, you think about it, he hasn't even been playing the game competitive by Pippen. As you mentioned, you really like his game, and Grizzlies are as well. Here's Grady rising up, and that jumper doesn't go. John Morant will claim it. 5:33 on the inside. And I don't know if you saw the news, Jordy Fernandez stepping down. Of course, he took over for Nick Nurse, who stepped down, take the field.
Coach Fernandez helped build.
5:10 left here as Mobo comes winning streak 17 and 33. Raptors with the
Question is if Joel Embiid will pull it. See Grady, good job. That's the defense I love seeing. Grady fighting over screens. Just got caught in a late switch though. It's got to communicate.
4:47 left. Grady to the cutting Walter. Walter is going to be fouled. And Curry and the Warriors as they take up 360. A lot of moving parts. And Golden State is here in the second half.
And I started talking about it before we went to a break. John Morant's not known for his defense, but I really appreciated the way he came out. In that
things that stands out last year for Memphis, very much like what the Raptors are going. Washington lost in all of that. The Raptors are #2 in the league in total minutes played by rookies, and that's significant. Then it's Utah, by the way, then it's Memphis. And you think about Phoenix being old. Here's a shot at the end of the clock. They're actually 5th on that list. Rookies minutes played. Now, a lot of that has to do, too, with their whole cap structure, because they are into the second apron. The Raptors getting all that experience going to be beneficial next year.
No doubt about it. No
Grady.
doubt. And you mentioned those other teams, right? And this is a young team.
Average better than 20 points, 7 assists, 40% from 3 for Japan at the Paris Olympics. In the corner, the 3 ball doesn't go. Jackson with a rebound. GG Jackson out on the floor. Battle. Here's Walter. Air ball. The Memphis Grizzlies, they put up 155 when they met on Boxing Day. We talked about how dangerous this offense is. They got 130 here tonight and counting.
It comes at you in different ways. I mean, you got individual performances, but then you have a style that is difficult to guard, because you got to keep up with that pace. You heard Savannah ask right at halftime, this pace, it's a tiring pace, and you got to be focused. I see those guys. They have a great mixture of talent, young players, veteran guys. You know, one of those dangerous teams coming out of the West. And sometimes it could be
scoring team in the NBA. They average 123.5 points per game. Not only are the NBA's top scoring offense, but when you take a look at point productivity through the first, nice cut, Walter. The stat, most points per game in the first 50 games of the season on average. Grizzlies are just 2 points shy of the 1961-62 Philadelphia Warriors. For Denver Nuggets, Alex English in 1981-82, 125. Indiana Pacers just last season. Then the 76ers in 66.
Transition, second opportunity points, and three-point shot, and that philosophy is really not their style of play.
Yeah, they're right there in the middle in attempts at 13 out of the 30 teams, 37.7 a game. 8th in make, 8th in percentage at 37.3. But as you mentioned, they get to the foul line. They're second in attempts. They're second in rebounds. They're second in offensive rebounds. Second in assists. 135-107.
How he scores his points in limited minutes. He's a guy that can score points like none other. Get to the basket, knock down the three. They're deep. They have a good bench. They have size. They have versatility with their bigs. And then they have a superstar in Ja Morant that we see what he can do from game to game.
Grady, under a minute to go. So for the Toronto Raptors, they will fall to 16-35, 12-16 at home. Memphis is going to improve to 35-16 and 14-11 on the road, and 21-3 against teams under 500. And Memphis comes to town on 90s night wearing their Vancouver Grizzlies threads and come away with the W.